short. Number of us have to leave this morning at various times here, but let's start with North Road reconstruction. This was on the list because we do have it included in the budget for next year. And you just wanted to have a discussion about how this gets rolled out to the public and how, what we do, to communicate what's going to happen, get buy-in from the public and such. So, Jim, did you want to? Well, there it is. Easier.
Yes. Jared is here.
Were you calling it?
No,
There's a spider web.
we were, I think Greg may have started a,
Yeah, we started a website for the project to help with information. Just waiting for Eric to send it to me.
so we thought we would utilize that. Okay, I'll call it a, is there a QR code or is it just a web, something I'll put out?
It's an actual web link.
Okay, so we can push that out,
Put that on our website.
right, for people to, once we approve what's on,
Well,
because we haven't seen it
there
yet.
is that.
So, but, yeah, that would be something that we would.
Jim, I wonder if we could get like one of those QR codes and
Yeah,
mount
it's
it on,
in your email.
and mount it on one of the road signs, that's on there that says for
Your
info.
email.
Yeah,
If we really want people to get involved, the more accessible we make it, the more likely it
If
is.
you send that to us, we can make that QR code. If you, once it's approved, get it, we'll need the QR code. We'll get it on there. We
Yeah.
can put it in the newsletter, we can put it on the website.
Somebody sit there and color in the little black.
Yes. Very tedious.
What are we gonna do when we lose China as a trading partner, that who's gonna color those in?
Right now, we use monks. Because they're out of work, they're not doing books anymore.
We'll be fine.
They like to do it in sheepskin.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Sorry, we're going off, we're digressing.
the question I was gonna ask, there was that short video that we put out that talking about the budget. And just not throwing stones at it, but it's fly real quick.
It did, yeah, I know.
Was the timing,
Yeah, I was gonna talk to,
we can adjust the
Stu.
timing on it?
And slow it down, give people time, cause you
Yeah.
barely can read
Okay.
up there before.
yeah, I forgot I was gonna mention that to Sue this week too, and I completely
Yeah,
forgot
we
about
can,
it. I noticed the same thing.
We can adjust the timing on it.
But that had what the total number would be,
Yes,
tax levy or tax rate would be. With that figured in $1, whatever it was.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but getting out to the public. Communicating it, but then setting up meetings with, so the project is large. Have you talked about having it at church out in
yeah, North Road Church.
Do you have a contact there?
I don't.
Do you wanna do it there or do you wanna do it at the school?
Just it doesn't really matter to me, I just thought the church is.
Just for
email,
kind of, it's on
just-
the route,
it's
is
there.
there still a daycare there? So I think you might get a bunch of people just from that alone.
From that, yeah, let's see if we can,
Reach out to.
I'll reach out to them.
Respect the computer.
Has there been any reaction to that video that was put out at all?
No. No, people can't read it. So they like it, they're like, oh, it's a quick budget.
You can, you can take screenshots if you're really quick.
Yeah.
So, but. Yeah, I mean,
There's been no feedback.
there is just such a jump in our tax rate that. I thought there'd be some comment from somebody, but
That went there, that went, it was emailed. It was in the newsletter, it's been on the website. It's been all over the place. My Town of Canandaigua app, it's been pushed out every mode that we have. I shared it with the newspaper. When they call, they reach out and ask what's going, well, by newspaper, I mean Channel 10, they're reaching out now asking for updates. I said we've got a significant budget project. Sent that out, nothing. It's been quiet. It's been very, very quiet.
could be an ambush.
I mean, Finger Lakes one can, they posted the wrong,
They post the wrong stuff and they pull
Information,
things
and
and they haven't done,
didn't put anything about the new.
they haven't done much of ours since then.
No, it is what it is.
That's that you're.
People gonna-
Yeah.
That's why it's great.
Yeah, let's see where the
You
paint
might be able to get
starts.
it quicker.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, we can't do that, that was a joke, but,
Yes.
so I guess
I'm gonna type that in.
we get after the first of the year, once the budget's approved, we get past the holidays, then we. Start looking at the project in earnest and
have
an
meetings.
organized meeting maybe in January sometime toward the latter.
The only feedback I got was really from that guy who came, who
To
wanted
the
the meetings.
Board meeting, yeah.
Mhm. And other people a couple years ago who.
He was for the project against the sidewalk, that was
Yeah.
the only thing, that's my takeaway was with them.
Alright, so that's the website.
Well, the sidewalk really was. What, about 10-15%, that's the total cost of the
Right.
project, so I mean, it's. That will affect tax rate.
Well, and you wouldn't do that project with a sidewalk, there's a school.
No,
at the
we
end
have
of
a
that road,
complete
but-
street policy, so
Yeah.
anything we do.
And we also, by staging it, we've talked about that, by staging it. That'll allow us to apply for funding for the sidewalk portion. Still allows us to move forward, but gives us the potential for grant funding for that.
So are you gonna pull that out of the bid?
So, yeah, we'd have to, it
Cause
would have to be,
you have to either bid it separate
yeah, you'd have to bid it
or
prior
bid
to
it all at
something.
once.
So what are our thoughts on that?
I just bid it,
Bid it once.
cause we're not gonna get a grant.
Cause
We-
the
we
sidewalk
struggle so
component
hard.
is, I don't know if you, I don't know if you won't get a grant, but they're gonna delay getting the sidewalk
Yeah.
done for probably 3 years.
Okay.
So,
If
because
we-
of the cycle
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how the DOT grants are, but they just expand the schedule significantly,
Everything has
so.
to be done by the.
Yes, so, and the other part is we have to parse out the sidewalk work, which, changes how you do everyone's driveways, so you're kind of messing with people's driveways twice in a really short
And
period of time.
drainage.
And drainage, so I think all that stuff together.
So you'd be talking about 3 years versus, Jim, you think it'll be 1 year?
It'll be a 2-year,
It's,
two-year
We'd add a year
project.
to the project,
well, no, you would
or
go,
or more.
sorry, you would go from 2 years for your construction to probably 5 years if
Yes.
you went with a grant.
Yeah.
Waiting for that.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's not
it's
fair to them.
similar to
People
like
along that road.
the
Yeah.
grant we got for Second Point Road, like,
Mhm.
we know we can do it. Less expensive, faster, but you have to do all this paperwork in front. You have to wait for a DOT to approve it, to get back to you. And then the schedule for that's like 26 to start that project.
Right.
So and any money you spend ahead of time on this project is not
We
reimbursed.
can't get it back. no.
You don't get
It
it
won't
back.
be reimbursable until you have a signed grant agreement, so if you apply for the grant, you're gonna wait a year to hear about the grant results. It'll be a few months to sign your grant agreement. And then things can become eligible at that point in time, but then you still have to do all the DOT.
Sometimes grants cost you more money in the long.
Well, I understand
In this
you
case,
want-
it probably would,
I
just
understand
because,
we wanna save money, but on the other hand, we can't string this out any longer, we had like, it's
Right.
been over 10 years we're gonna talk about this.
I'll say this, the people I've talked to about it, just friends and stuff, are concerned that it's gonna be like North Bloomfield Road and be just under construction for years. So,
Well, they're not wrong, I mean,
So-
It'll be about the same time frame. North Bloomfield Road's been a year. I think it's been long.
it's a solid 2 construction seasons.
yeah,
yeah,
So there's no way around that, just because the
Yeah.
work.
well, that's, my point is like, so extending it out even longer
Yeah, we
is
up
not,
that,
yeah.
you'll probably get the road and the culvert and drainage in before school starts, and then come back the following year to do a bunch of restoration.
Right.
Clean up and stuff, but. Greg has reached out to a few contractors about suggestions of traffic. We're thinking we're going to go like one way for one lane and then make a broke detour, then flip to the other side. Cause they have two-way traffic. Pretty. I'd say unrealistic due to the fact that they're trying to, we're at a time frame of, I'll say, May to first part of September.
How you handle the traffic is what will ultimately extend the construction length. So if you do this in phases, you can take 2 lanes and you can shift them south, they give you the working space on the north to kind of work on a little part of like where you're gonna put the new curb line and the drainage. And then once that work is done and you have to work on the northern lane, And like I was talking with Jim, said we can make it a one way and we'll have to detour the other traffic around. And then shift it north, and then we'll be working on one lane, so it'll be a one way again, with detours around. We'll have all sorts of temporary ramps going from the new side to the old side, or old side to the new side. To make accessibility, we got to coordinate with postmaster, because mailboxes will have to shift when we move from one lane to the other. It's a big project.
Yeah. Well, the people, the kids that do walk to school, they'd be able to navigate all this, how will they be affected? I mean,
It shouldn't be an issue come fall, because. By then, we should, with any luck, we'll be at a point where we're, I'll say. I don't want to say completed, but to a point where we function. It's okay, is what I'm getting at. I mean, sidewalks will probably be one of the last things that go in.
Would you detour Chapin? Is that where you detour?
No, we probably send them up 28 to Sand Hill or. 28
Yeah,
hours
yeah,
to Sand
yeah.
Hill. Is what we probably end up doing. Like the,
I think school folks will just do Chapin.
Yeah, they
I
would
mean,
probably do
if you
Chapin,
know that
correct.
that's going
Yeah.
that way.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see that, but, you know, to fully close it down, I think that would be more disruptive. I think there's gonna be a period though of time when we do that large culvert, concrete box culvert, that it will be shut down.
The road has to be closed.
Closed. You know, that would take 30 days,
Yeah, 30, 45.
something like that, so. No, because we just can't do one lane at a time then. With that box culvert.
We're gonna get the joint app in and get that approved, because that's apparently a 303D stream, so. I thought it was just a
I
drain.
just saw a strange well. You know, I'm hoping that we get a good contractor. When this goes out to bid. So,
when would you anticipate going out for bid?
Probably January,
To start in the spring,
yeah,
Yeah.
spring, as long as everything's all set.
right?
it'll take that long just to get. Contracts and paperwork signed and
Right.
stuff like that, because the board will have to make, you know.
But I gotta give us enough buffer, I gotta get enough buffer to get the permit for the stream, so.
Well, should we meet with residents, people added that, what,
Oh, yeah,
they're in say, fait
yeah,
accompli, I mean,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep, you know, maybe something that's in early December. Before the holidays. Or you do it shortly after to do
Well,
it.
after, yeah, once we pass the budget, I mean,
Once we pass the budget, it's happening, so we could shoot for. That first week in December,
Could, or is it,
or just wait till
or just wait till
January.
after the first of the year, because. People might be not thinking about this stuff.
They probably weren't thinking about it much, I'd say
So-
first of the year.
I think you've got, well, we got, seeker's gotta get completed, which that'll be done, should be this year. We'll have to adopt the bond resolution, which can happen after you've adopted your budget. We'll just need to check with Chris, see if we need to have, what type of resolution, if we need anything ahead of that, or bond council, as it relates to passing the bond resolution.
would the bond resolution be in December? Or is that too early, that?
It could happen in December,
December
because
meeting.
seeker should be done at the end of,
16.
at the end of this month.
Right.
So we could basically do, you know, adopt everything, at that December meeting. But that's, Terry, that's the website. So-
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll email it out
If
to
it-
everybody.
So it's just a simple website, there's. Couple hot links up here that bring down just some of the questions, or at least the whens and the wheres and the whys, you know, stress the need for multimodal, traffic demands, aging drainage systems. Some ongoing repairs, obviously the pavement's been chopped up, long-term planning. Gave a rough idea of schedule. Rough idea of cost, although I didn't really outline like cost impacts. Then. This is basically just our typical sections, showing, where the existing road is, and then we're shifting the center line north by about 3 to 4 feet in certain areas. Kind of our edge treatment, but this also shows the sidewalk. So it's just typical sections. And then there is an overview map here that's I think it's even, yeah, you can slide around. To give an idea of the scope of the project, I think it's even based on how it's displaying on there.
Probably.
How many, houses are there along that whole?
Oh,
When it's probably 30 to 50.
I was thinking about 50.
I think
Yeah.
that's, I'd say
On both sides,
upwards of
probably at least 100
60,
homes through there.
70.
Wondering if, you know, a couple pages of this, we stuck them in an envelope, mailed it to the people.
Oh, yeah, we would.
Give them, you know, some of them might be totally unaware or not as computer literate as I am, which is very, very low.
What information.
Or is it easier, Jim, just to get a couple people to volunteer and just walk up the street and just hang whatever on the door?
Dave and who else?
Could.
No, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that.
We can go out there and put them up there once we have it decided.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Just might be there
On
a
your
while,
mailbox.
just start walking,
Yeah.
because you might have, you know, a lot of questions that. Hopefully have answers to when you're out, so.
But when are we thinking? We thinking that December for that or that in January too?
Like December being, that's when you're gonna adopt your bond resolution, so I mean, that's probably when you'll
Yeah.
get the most questions.
Mhm.
No, it's-
Yeah, you got the last 2 weeks are also holidays, and it's on a Wednesday this year, so.
Well, plus, plus you get the snowbirds, so.
We won't
I don't know if
have
there's
many-
many
we won't have
snowbirds on
many
that
there.
street, yeah.
Yeah, that's not,
Probably that.
that's not a super.
Or you
high
fold
test
it up
area.
and put it in with your tax bill. That goes up.
That, yeah, that would be.
Ooh.
Oh, that might encourage you to come to. Okay. Well, this is well underway then for planning and. Now it's execution. Or, you know, shouldn't say execution.
That might have a different connotation
Yeah.
than what you want it to.
Yeah,
No, we were going to have an executive session, but maybe we do that. This is moving along rapidly, so maybe we could do that at the end, so. People don't have to leave the room. The next is Upland or Nanda Road.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
I know the survey is to Paul Coker, who's on survey. I talked to Terry the other day, I don't have it on here, but and I know the park committee has blessed this, but. I have asked them to survey this. And so we have a visual. Like to have maybe John's buddies do a little drone flyover. And bring it back, because I wanna make sure. We're ready for what could be coming to us from the public when we start clearing trees. Is what I'm getting at. I mean, I understand that this is what we agreed to, but I. Just am concerned with the public going, what are you doing?
I know Parks had that same concern. At first, they drew one line one place and then moved the line to another spot where there are fewer trees. And you can't really see it there, but there's.
well, you picked
there-
the greenest picture.
I did,
ever.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
There is a spot where there's where the structure
It's not-
will be
It's
done.
not that, that's in some of those areas.
But it is gonna. cut-
AI.
So, I just, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm just being a little sensitive towards the fact that,
Sorry. Well, it's a good point, you know, a plan on paper is one thing, black and white, but. You know.
I don't,
Maybe if you get a shot of it, an aerial shot, once the leaves are off the trees.
you know, it's gonna be, I can't see, you know, something like this,
Yeah.
but you see where there's not that many trees along
Yeah.
that line between the creek bed.
yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
go
So that
something
was one
like,
of the original objections. was
Right,
what they
right.
were-
But I know the Parks
Yeah,
Committee
something
walked
like
that whole
this.
area.
so, it's not exact, but you know, it's kind of like that, it's not. Ton of trees, it's not like we're going way over to the gully, it's just. You know, wanna make,
It's definitely gonna open it
let's
up.
go open it up.
We did get some feedback from Parks and Rec, so not your apartment, like SHPO. So they were concerned about if we're changing the use. So we do have to get back to them with some information.
You
Some
say
enforcement.
changes in use, like, is it,
Well, I think they're looking at, are you alienating parkland, that type of thing. No, because everything that's going in here is for
for
park.
part,
That's
right,
all, where
There's
is
no dual use for any of it.
right? Okay. So I was gonna get it surveyed. I told Paul Coker to do like a 40-foot width, because we don't want the trees right on top of the road, but we'll need at least 30 feet width between the drainage and the road itself.
Right.
So if we have 40, you get an idea of what we're talking about. And I know we're gonna do this, I just. would
Well, the
like
trees gotta come down this
Right.
winter.
So to keep us to moving forward. That's what I wanted to share with you guys and see if anyone had any other comments that they're concerned with, so. That's all.
Just as met with Jeff Cook the other day to talk about this tumbling road, project that he's envisioning. And we came out together at the same time, and he's looking at the cabin over here. Wonder what story was about it, I've seen it. He's always forget to ask, so I told him going in hard and all that. But he said, well, if you need any help moving around, he said, we have a modified skid steer that we use for the housing that they built. He said, you guys are welcome to use it if you want to help
Okay.
orient up there, so.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right, thanks. Yeah, we got the pad built this week to move that cabin. I'm hoping next week to Onondaga. It's only been 2 years.
What's the
Yeah.
rush?
So, well.
They grow roots,
What's the rush?
It's going,
You have to move out, Jim.
Why are we moving?
it's going like somewhere right around here is where it's going.
Yeah.
Why are we moving so fast now?
Somebody came in the other day concerned about it.
It's a good thing we
Can't be
didn't say
good to be
come
sitting
to
outside
school.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, basically.
We'll go
They
there.
sit outside with their mate, you know?
Obviously, before we do anything, let's make sure we clear seeker before we actually.
Yeah.
Modify the site.
By the site, yeah. We gotta do that, and then I think we might wanna wait and see how we do on our grant before we spend real dollars on the project.
When's that gonna be announced?
That should be before the end of the year.
All right. That'd be good.
So when should we clear seeker? When do you think that will be?
Seeker will be done at the end of November.
So we put it on, others on
Sunset,
Yeah,
and hopefully around that time, we'll figure out on the other grants.
Okay. That's good. Any questions on that?
So what are we gonna put over there?
Whatever you guys decide.
I think we should put a new loader. Can we put a new loader?
Sure.
That says coming soon to the highway department?
Absolutely.
We'll leave it there for 2 years.
Absolutely.
Gotta find out what's next on Jim's wish list.
There's always stuff. So,
Next was East Ridge Run, Jim's
yeah,
looking for places to put snow.
They're gonna
If you
buy-
ever get any snow.
What?
They're digging in my yard today.
How are they able?
are they? They shouldn't be without me there, but that's okay, I'll pay.
Oh, they're digging in the entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
Every single box, every single electrical box, they're digging giant
Electric box, huh?
Yeah.
neck deep holes to put whatever their boxes are gonna be
I
in.
saw that the other day, I drove through the other day and I saw that.
They're every single box, they were mine this morning.
Yeah.
Well, what
Give
did
you
they
guys some bottles of water.
Trying to run fiber.
Fiber,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're gonna get the good fiber.
Hoping they don't cut off my mower wire,
If they do, they'll fix it.
that auto mower.
Yeah, they'll just let them know, they'll take care of it for you, John. They're
you better figure that out before spring, you know what I mean?
You
Auto.
don't want the
You just gotta be
HOA.
careful, like with AI, you don't know what that auto motor is gonna do in a few years.
Been going
cruising down the
for
road.
4 years.
The,
The invisible fences.
this is the end of East Ridge Run where it meets, Joe Del Forte and his brother's property. And there's never been a place to turn anything around. Somehow we allowed the turnaround to become driveways, we put a private drive off the end of the road. Okay,
It was
So-
before your time.
yeah, it was like 96 or something when this was done. Or somewhere in that range, you know, something in that time frame. So the neighbor here, we've been talking for a long time. I thought this summer. We had something going here to get some property, but that failed. They are not interested in having, I'll say, a parking lot here for on their property. So currently, the problems are drainage here. It doesn't work well, and the fact that the plow trucks have destroyed this driveway due to the weight of them.
They need a horseshoe, like I thought we eliminated horseshoes.
Well, yeah, this was the turnaround,
Right.
and then the town back in the 90s said, well, we're not gonna do any more, you can do what you want with it.
Yeah.
So all we have is a 60-foot right of way.
I mean, it looks like you had a hammerhead, but then.
We did.
But they turned, the one guy turned it into a horseshoe driveway for himself.
Well, this was here first, then this got built, and then we would go past it, so they just added to it. So when we come in, we go over, we dump here, so
Gotcha.
we back up here, and we pull back out.
Cause like I say, some of the drainage was probably because they cut across it, right? So.
Yeah, so I
It's
was
kind of trapped a little.
drainage
spot.
lays here, and
Well, they flooded down there too.
Yeah, they
That's
have
before
flooded
it
down
sold
there.
place.
yes.
And they flooded a couple
Correct.
years ago.
So
There's an ocean of impervious area on that property.
Yeah, there is.
So we've talked many times here about what could be proposed. We still have to figure out, because we're technically going on private property here.
Mhm.
Okay, so somehow, some way, we need to come up with agreement with this land, regardless of the owner, to go with the deed. To allow the town to continue to enter this property for snow plowing purposes. And also an understanding that this is where emergency equipment, like a fire truck or an ambulance, also needs access to get to turn around if needed, because we don't have anything. Like if there were vehicles parked here, they couldn't turn around.
School buses turn around there too.
What's that?
School buses, they turn around there too.
It's go turn
Yeah,
around, yeah,
they get down the each turn.
correct.
The snowplow driver's okay with pulling in, backing out, or
Yeah, we're okay with it, but you know.
just
they-
gotta have the,
Yeah, someplace.
We
yeah.
dump over this lawn all the time, is what we do, because we come in, pick up the wing. And it's a hydro turn, so we can turn it to the left, so we don't push everything in this driveway, and then we dump the snow here. So, and then we back up and then we pull out.
Is there enough room there for, accumulation to? I mean, if there's a
Sometimes.
significant,
I mean, sometimes I have to go down there with the 1 ton and push it back farther, because I don't want the trucks getting that far out the road and
Yeah.
we're erupting it up, which does happen, Terry.
Yeah.
But more, what really happens is this driveway is not designed to support that weight.
And that's concrete, looks like.
No, it's asphalt.
Is it?
Yeah, it's asphalt, so it's just not designed for it, and it really needs to be repaired and replaced.
all that property is on this guy to the. bottom
right.
There.
It's all,
This one right here, yeah,
where those
That-
trees are,
That's
that's
the
all.
property line right there, that bisecting that white vehicle.
yeah, this is our,
Right
well,
away.
actually, this is the town's right away, so.
Yeah. But you got like 3 different properties coming together in that little area.
Yes.
That's what complicates it.
Can you reduce it a little bit more?
Oh, I'm sorry, in or out,
Out.
okay, sorry,
They used to live up. Bundy and then.
Vince.
Yeah, and bought that house down there.
I'm just trying to see that East Ridge Run a little bit more, but
Oh,
that
sorry.
goes out for quite a ways, right?
Yeah, that goes back out towards,
Yeah,
there's over here Sunrise and then another.
Yeah, yeah.
So probably what should have been done is, okay, you wanna make these 2 properties fine, but we should have
Turn it.
somehow
Yeah.
put something here.
Like an offset cul-de-sac or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Well, the other day, Jim, you were talking about to the left of that driveway that goes in. To that, house on the upper left,
This one,
yeah, if you zoom in again. You were talking about that area right in there.
yes. Well, what I'd like to do is survey this. Where are these corners and can I come out wider? Instead of coming in here to put snow here. The truck is around 30. Ish feet long as it is, we have to plow on it. And then we're still. Not really getting a lot of room here to back up to stay on, I'll say the public right away. I mean, I really would not like to. Remove these trees. Because obviously it's a buffer for them, one's kind of in the right of way, but it really doesn't help us that much, we'd actually need to come back. Here, something like that, so we have enough room to turn around.
And no appetite for the landowner to have something go back in there a little.
Behind those trees.
Yeah,
So no, I spoke to both property owners here at length and. No, there's no, they're not interested in,
a basketball court or something.
right, they're
Yeah.
not, no. I was trying, but they're not interested.
Tennis court, did you try pickleball?
Did you try pickleball?
I didn't try pickleball. I tried like, hey, you got a spot for your camper, and
Yeah,
oh, you
exactly.
could use it there, and
Putting green?
no, I didn't ask.
No.
But.
Would they consider granting an easement? In return for the repair of that section of driveways, which would help them and help you? Possibly.
Would they? I would say yes,
Okay.
they would.
But does that help you?
Well, it does, cause
Well, it gives you the right to go.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Right now, you're going onto it without.
Cause like really, they could say,
stop it,
they could also,
yeah.
Yeah, then you could say, well, okay, we'll just not follow.
correct, so you're absolutely right.
There's, you have to have a way to get in and out.
Yeah.
And if you can't,
Can we offer, did you talk about offering to reconfigure that whole driveway?
Yeah, we have.
Get rid of that circle in the middle?
Yeah, that's what I,
Well, we've talked about that.
And then we
that was-
repair the whole thing and then gives us room at the end and plant some new trees and stuff for them.
Fix the drainage.
Fix the drainage, plant the trees, we extend the driveway where the tree, But then it would be putting a thing on the neighbor's side, but.
We've had many conversations of what could be done. We haven't really came up with a solid, I'll say response.
Mhm.
that's
Because
a lot
again,
of impervious.
yeah, that was done by the previous owner
Yeah.
and,
But if we fill in that spot, that's even more.
so this gives you a little better view.
Yeah.
We,
Is there even enough room?
well, here's, like, we need enough room, so when we back up, we could stop short here, like not go in their driveway. And then
just take
swing
part of
around.
that island.
So basically, you're removing this whole thing. In a sense, and you're making this, cause if you're gonna fix this and this, well, we might as well, they're probably gonna want
Do the whole
to
thing?
do the whole thing. And then fix their drainage here, which then goes out that way behind their
Which
house.
benefits them?
It does,
Who decides whether that's on their property?
what's
So it's entirely that island,
yeah, it's on their property.
so it's all up to them.
It's up to them.
There's no HOA that's gonna say, no, you can't.
Is there?
There's an issue.
There's-
Yeah, there is.
there's-
Right, I'll say no.
There's
Oh,
no,
there's HOA, but
Yeah.
they don't have purview over it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
well,
all their property.
they might try.
Me too.
well.
I'm just,
I don't like trees.
So,
Would it be necessary to take the whole thing though? I mean. leave
not
some
necessarily the
green.
whole thing, but at least the front of it, or from that tree out to the road, for sure.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have a massive amount of pavement. It's like a parking lot.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which, to me, if it was mine, I would say no, but part of it. Like that from that stone towards us. Or maybe.
Is that enough room, Jim?
Well, I'd like to be able to get in here deeper and then make a spot over here to dump to the left. Because they got a fence here and I really don't wanna get too deep in here with snow and then end up damaging the fence. So if there was a way for us to come in and dump closer to this black card and back out, that would be preferable for me, but we're gonna have to make this, maybe not all this gone, we're gonna have to make this wider. So when we swing in with the plow in the way.
Would you carry your gutter up through there?
Thought about that, Greg.
Yeah, I'm looking-
But
I'm
it,
just
but it-
looking
it
at it, I don't
goes,
know if
it
it would
pitches back to the south, so if we did. We're gonna have to not raise up a lot, but raise up a little
Right,
to make it go back.
push it, yeah.
So there's already a fair amount of fall from here to here, it's about a foot and a half, 2 foot.
It looks like there's a little bit of a bit there coming back this.
Yeah, right
way.
here. There's a catch basin here,
Oh, okay.
okay, so
Those trees are pretty big.
they are pretty big, I mean,
Yeah,
they're
it's
a
pretty
buffer,
large tree.
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
What if you took out that one corner tree there?
maybe,
It's a lot of space.
I know we have a lot of ideas, what I'm looking for is, do we have the support to come back to the board and say, you know, can we support doing this and file the correct paperwork with this property and make the repairs, because in a sense, we're spending kind of like public money on private property, we need to make sure that we're not gonna give ourselves precedent for someone else who thinks we're doing something.
Well, but if it's for a
They
public
give it
purpose,
It's a
easement.
common good, yeah.
Yeah,
public purpose, we've done work on other properties.
Yeah.
Because it benefits the public in general, not just the,
right,
so I.
Personally, I'm okay with it.
yeah,
Making
I'm
the
okay with
improvements, giving us more room to do the turnaround.
Okay.
I wouldn't have any
And
problem
I
with
don't think
that.
that extensions are gonna happen out.
no,
Yeah.
Because there was talk about it for a while, I know, Rocco was talking about it, but,
I
not
don't.
not for a long time.
Yeah, go back to Ashton Place, but I don't see that happening.
Mhm.
No,
Not in the next 20 years.
no,
No, no lifetime.
no, so,
So you need to do something. Yep.
yeah, we need to do
Yep,
something, and my idea is to go in there deeper to get the truck straight enough. So I can back out, instead of coming at an angle, then trying to turn back left, I'll get the vehicle straight. So they can back out straight and then pull out, so.
So you're just looking for the opportunity to do that, does the board have an appetite for that, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see,
Enter
amongst you
into,
guys,
enter into an agreement with that.
agreement with.
Yeah, I'm all for that, yeah, these guys,
Yeah,
You know, something that we need to do.
And that's the reason we put hammerheads at the end of temporary dead ends.
Correct,
That reason, now, why they ever gave it up.
I don't,
That
there was,
got pressure from the property owners. I think,
that could be, there
at
was
the time.
Griffith Homes back then, I think. Maybe Diamond, I can't remember which one it was, maybe Diamond or
My
Griffith,
daughter's home was about 4 houses down,
so,
and I think it was Griffith, yeah.
yeah.
They did a different section of it.
Mine is diamond,
it was a
my
Diamond.
house is
I
diamond.
remember Diamond was in there, I didn't remember Griffith, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, I just wanna bring that to your attention and see if you guys. I don't have a good answer for these folks, anybody asking. So,
but at least it can get the conversation started. and
Right.
Throw things on the
Yeah.
table.
Mhm.
like,
With the caveat, you have to take it back to town.
right.
Yep.
So,
Good.
yes.
As long as they don't want like 10 basketball courts or something.
No, I.
And in a rec, you know, a
Pickleball.
private rec center,
Pickleball, that's.
pickleball we could do. Like we
So
said.
you got that quite a recreation for you.
Okay, there was one other item that you had sent the other day.
Swiffer,
The
Oh,
Swiffer,
yeah.
yeah, the Swiffer proposal, so.
Could you
Can you
explain
explain that a little bit?
The Swiffer is it's transfer station type grant, dealing with eliminating organic waste. It has to have an organic waste component. The Swiffer grant, my understanding is it's basically its own fall grant. And it's but through the EPA. So you know, it's a kind of a new grant for us at least, so we offered you a proposal at an hourly not to exceed, just to give an upset number, because we haven't done one, so I'm not really sure what the cost is really gonna come in at, but my guess is probably around $5,000 or something, along those lines, but.
This is John.
How would that be? I mean, what's the magnitude of dollars, what is it?
There was
has to
a-
be
Lori
oriented
gave us
towards
a-
organic
I sent you
removal
the-
only?
Yeah, for some reason I can't get to my email from here, so.
Okay.
You can't get it, cause
Well, I can't get to my email, I think. Well, it's a grant program, this is the one we want, right?
So,
Let me move Jess out of the way.
she doesn't have.
Is Dorian really just towards recycling efforts or municipal solid
it's a
waste?
little-
it's municipal solid waste, but it's like, it has to have an organic waste component.
Post-consumer materials management,
Yeah, okay.
including municipal recycling programs. And assisting local waste management authorities in making improvements to local waste management systems.
Is there a deadline for applying or?
Yeah, it's, yeah, I was gonna say it's in December.
Yeah, this one would,
I think I mentioned to both of you guys, like, I'm not sure, like,
yeah, without knowing.
without knowing what the counties, I know it's,
Yeah.
you know, another month away, but.
Well, we'll know.
Yeah.
December 5th, we're having an up or down vote.
Right,
So there will be an agenda, a resolution brought to us on December 5th. Which will either be proceed forward. For closure on the 28th, in 2028. Or proceed forward with keeping it open and looking into extending our lease with them. Cause the lease, you know, we know the lease ends. And if we don't do anything, the lease is over and it's done. So it's gonna be up or down vote. The straw poll of those who were in the meeting was, there were about 15 supervisors in attendance. And it was about 11-4 in favor of closing.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
that was shocking.
So the most vocal in favor of opening were our western counterparts. The most vocal in favor of closing were Geneva
Yeah, sure.
and Seneca. The town of Seneca voted 5-0 to close the landfill and not continue operations in their town. So regardless, let's say we vote to keep it open, it's gonna take years to. If we don't do it in Seneca for the re-permitting process. And then finding a location, because we can't keep the existing location. Because once it's done, we cannot touch it, otherwise we're on the hook for $50 million, that's. Casella has put away.
Right.
So. If I were betting, my bet would be. It's gonna move to closure and look for alternatives. Which it came up again that central.
Oh, yes.
The central hub,
Yeah.
like we had, you know, the central transfer station type thing. We wouldn't have an operating landfill that we'd be using.
Transfers.
Just be put
It would be a transfer station.
Yeah.
Could be interesting because you got that battle going on. Seneca
Oh,
Meadows
yes, but I'm just
Seneca
wondering if we
Meadows
would be
could very
a
well
hub
close. and
to make it.
We could have two closing.
You have very little.
Yes, I'd be
very
curious
few
whether or not you
opportunities.
guys wanna be the hub to take it. If depending on how much increased volume of trash is now coming to that location.
Well, I think to answer your question, like, I would be curious to know how things go on December
Right.
Yeah,
fifth,
yeah.
yeah, that, and then maybe we have a conversation.
Well, but also, I
But
mean,
you've got a pretty good indication, if it's 11-4.
yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's gonna close.
I mean, if we had the hub, if we went with that process, the county has. 40 million set aside in a transitional funding. That we pulled aside from the landfill, so the landfill gives millions per year to the county. That is now no longer part of the operating budget, that is just going into a reserve fund. To help with the transition. So. And we had not had any discussion on what that funding would look like, if it would be divvied up to the towns to help if we went with the spoke and wheel. Which I would think if that was the plan, that's what I would advocate for, to help the towns with some of that cost. Or if that's gonna be to invest in. More land, or if it's gonna be to invest in something different at the county level. That I
You
don't know.
know, yeah. You mentioned earlier, the length of time to, in the permitting process. If they, well, let's find some more land and build a new one.
There are two locations,
You're gonna.
the only place.
28, so.
The only places that we could build a landfill. There's a spot in Victor. And there's a spot in Canada's. Yeah, yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
So-
that's not happening.
Right in Cobblestone Court, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
there's a spot in Victor and there's right in the old Lord and Taylor. Victor and Canada have two are the only, because there are, and there's a third, and I don't recall exactly where, but those are the only two within the town, within the county. That fit all of the EPA requirements for a landfill spot. So we're even limited to 2 geographic areas.
And I'm sure people who live in those areas will
Yeah.
enthusiastically.
Yeah.
Right.
Accept it.
Except that, so,
Sounds like it, the whole thing is over and done.
that's my take, unless unless crazy things happen.
So what would the Swiffer thing do? I mean,
This seems to be just recycling, right?
It's, yeah, it's for municipal solid waste facilities, it has to have an organic waste component.
Well, we do.
Yeah, no, I know.
We have Impact Earth.
I think-
It could.
so why wouldn't we apply for that? Like 5,000? I mean, that's,
I just would.
My
let's just say-
my
let's just say
proposals
landfill,
were,
Yeah.
7,
Oh,
not to
yeah,
exceed
why
that,
not?
I'm like, I'm
Do anything.
thinking about it.
What do we do that with?
We should buy it.
Yeah, I mean, what, if we were to
It's
start,
recorded.
I'll say it's the cardboard, removing cardboard and baling that instead of zero sorting. If we were to. The food waste, if you're really going to divert food waste, let's just say the county does stay open. Or we're to have a reduced load, now you're gonna need to find a way to get people to pull the food out. We might not have, might have to use something larger than toters for that, the actual food collection versus what we're doing now.
Right,
And. Where would we store said consumables if we would, we gotta keep them dry somehow.
Right.
Ship them, so I don't, I would like to see us wait till, see what happens. in the fall.
so what's the downside to waiting
or on the
for
grant.
Swiffer? I mean, we wouldn't apply till next year again, or?
No, we could talk
Yeah,
about.
well,
Well, this just sprung up, so I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
how many years this thing's gonna be running for.
So the deadline's December 20th, we do have the meeting,
December 20.
yeah, for the Swiffer, so it's going.
And it's a 3-year grant period.
So
Alright.
the deadline's the 20th, so we're kind of tight against that, we have a board meeting 4 days before that.
Mhm.
If ever, I don't know if that's kind of quick to turn around, everything would have to be done, and we just have to have the understanding that, yeah, we're
Yeah,
approving it.
I would have, I mean, we'd have to get started, I think, before.
You gotta get started.
It's not, Lori's really good. but-
No, but what I'm saying,
I don't think I
no.
can do that to her.
What I'm saying is do all the, we can't even support it until if we put it off, we can't even vote until the 16th on it. And the only way to make it go through would be to do it all before it was even voted on,
Right.
which, so it's either now, November, or we move off, or we
Don't do it.
It's
don't do it.
Look, I did it as an hourly contract, so you guys get authorized, we can get started, and then you can be like, oh, hard stop.
Mhm.
We'll just,
So,
I mean, to me, that's worth,
do we need to have some sort of like objective us with, like I'm reading it and it's to establish this, establish that, demonstrate this, so I feel like we need to have an actual, like, this is what we're gonna do with it.
well, we have the transfer station design.
Design, yeah, we do have
So
that.
it'd just be.
Yeah, we
We
did
could
super station design.
That's all, I mean, the transfer station is through schematic, I believe, so.
Yeah, if that transfer station design and really the thought in mind that thing would still be open out there. There could be some changes that would come if we have to ship.
We didn't we make it bigger? Didn't we have that in there bigger?
I thought that
Well,
was
it's-
that way,
We
yeah.
made it bigger
Yeah,
so we
but-
could handle larger over the road containers.
Well, yeah, but would we still do all of that?
Right.
Would be my question, or would we say, private guys, you take it all, leave a lot of it, which would
No, I
make this
don't.
guy happy, but.
Well, I don't, well, you know, I also know when Carlos here, they talk about could the current location, could it accept waste to be transferred further out, like we would bring it there and then be shipped from there.
So that would be that we would the county would operate that as a transfer station.
So you still bring the stuff outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me makes more sense, is if everyone's stuck with like kind of the roll-off sized containers, and then. You brought your roll-off to the county then did compaction and transferred it to large trucks to get them out.
I mean,
Well, if there's some way to, with money that would come with a grant, there's some way that. Something that would help us encourage people to take the organics out, because that's. I mean, that's what, that 30-40% of the tonnage is probably food waste and those kind of things, so. We probably should apply for it, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's $5,000 to $7,000, someplace in that area. Put it on for November and.
I mean,
do
we
it.
have,
What would come out of that might help us
we
anyway.
have the
Right,
reserve.
use there anyways for it.
Yeah,
We have 800,000
Right,
roughly
Yeah,
in
it comes out of
reserve.
that. It's not,
And then, but we also, I mean, we already know that even what we had planned on is now, what, 2.5 million, or is it 5? I don't remember.
oh, I think it's 5.
Yeah.
So,
it was 5, it's probably more than 5.
Yeah.
so as we go through, you know, we're gonna need the money even if we improve what we have.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So
Do it.
I'd say so
The current
there's,
transfer station location is not really ideal.
so there's support then to move
Yeah.
forward with the application. We'll put it on the agenda for the agenda for November, the end of November.
Yeah, it's not coming off our bottom line, we have that reserve.
We've got the reserve fund.
How's that for your timeline?
That's fine, as
Yeah.
long as we get authorized.
That's as soon as we can do that.
Yeah.
We'll
Two
make that
other
work.
things came out of that
Yeah.
committee meeting. One was putting a lot of emphasis to Carla in terms of sustainability. I mean, they've sort of put it on her that, you know, coming up with alternative waste disposal techniques she should be looking into,
Mhm.
and that's gonna start right now, from what I heard from
Yeah.
the committee, they wanted that to happen. The other thing was discussed was single haulers. Having
Yeah.
curbside collection, with, rather than having 5 or 6 haulers going up and down the street on different times, different days. Contract out, curbside collection as a single hauler. Now, I don't think it'd be countywide, they'd probably break it into districts, so you'd have
Yeah.
a bid for District 1, District 2. And that way, everything would be curbside collection, people would have to have. You couldn't have an opt-in or opt-out because the bidder wouldn't have had a bid, because he wouldn't know how many homes he's bidding on. So it would have to be all or nothing, and if you have all, then the need for our facility really isn't as great.
Right, well,
Correct.
pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, so just something,
Yeah.
you know, keep in the back of your mind, because it was a concept. I think the people of Geneva, Seneca, the naysayers were sort of leaning.
Yeah, those for, you know, that, because that was the other thing, if we get rid of this, we're not getting, if the landfill closes, we're not really getting vehicles off the road. Because you're still gonna have that same amount of driving, that's where that came up of, you know, do we do this, do we?
Well, the other thing, they thought
Open
it'd
that
be a plus financially to homeowners.
Could be,
To help offset the cost of what the disposal fees are.
because then you might get a better contract with that single hauler, there's not as much overlap.
The people that are bringing it here for nothing now, they're gonna have to pay.
No, yeah, but yeah, I paid for
But
recycling
we're
too.
gonna probably have some sort of pay system set up even with the transfer station.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we got to pay to
I
throw
think
it,
that's enough.
because our cost will probably maybe double to get rid of
So
it.
they're either gonna pay to bring it here, or they're gonna pay to have it picked up curbside.
The only real hammer you have is gonna pay to get rid of it
Yes,
by pound.
still,
You know, so you gotta reduce the tonnage, you get the organics out,
Right,
that helps a lot, you know, but. Until we find a way to not produce waste, which I don't think we'll
That's
ever
never
have
gonna
that discussion. It's, has there been any discussion at all?
I don't know.
I mean, you're waiting for the vote on December 5th.
Articles.
Has there been any thinking beyond that, that,
oh, we started with.
is the planning department looking at all at,
well, that's,
okay, if we go this way, here's what we're gonna do?
well, that's the solid, that's Carla and
Yeah,
her department. Once we have, they're looking for alternatives, but once this discussion is, then it's gonna be full bore. The focus of that, okay, now, this is the direction, because right now they kind of they don't have direction.
no,
They haven't had direction, that's been kicked down to finally right now for years.
Good.
That people kept putting the vote off, but. Once they have that direction, then they can go full bore to where we're going to. So now we need to really increase diversion efforts, we really need to increase recycling, we need to
Yeah.
increase all those, how are we gonna do that?
well, that's what's gonna happen, because you're not gonna find another place and get it cited in 3 years. time.
No, it's impossible,
So what's gonna happen is, you're gonna wind up,
Well,
and even that,
the economic incentive alone, I mean, it's gonna cost you so much to get rid of garbage, you gotta pull some.
yeah, even that plan. That was presented, when it broke down, well, if we only take 75% or 50% or 25% are only county waste. Anything that we were to change would have to go out to an RFP as well. We can't just go to Casella and say, hey, can we roll this over? How about you come back and we do a new 10-year agreement at 50%? UN? It would have to go off to bid, a complete RFP. People would have to bid on, and it would open the whole thing up again, which then adds time.
Yeah.
Here's a good 6 months to a year, so.
I
Yeah,
think we
so,
get a transfer station permitted and built under a contract, private contract, it'd take less time.
yeah. And we could still use where the MRF is for the transfer station.
Hey, that's an asset.
And the MRF is staying, the MRF is gonna stay,
You got
you
a lot
know.
of room for composting.
yeah,
I mean, that's an environmental campus there. I think
yeah,
if they shut the landfill down and they build a transfer station and they use whatever land they have left for possible windrow composting, or if they build a structure with a organic component, and they have the MRF,
mhm.
and they could process demo material there, I could see it be a real asset, and
Yeah.
something we could be proud of, but we'll see.
Good. Well, we'll go ahead and
Alright, so go
put
ahead.
that
and-
resolution on
Yeah.
November meeting. All set.
Last tidbit of information, we did get our, the WE announcements came out, so. Hokel didn't do her normal, super splash, but she kind of snuck those out there. We were not successful, this time around, so. I was just talking with Fletcher, the other day about it. They put about 50% of the application score. Now, they don't release the score, but. So a lot of this was like word of mouth, but they're saying about 50% of the application score of recent projects that are being funded are funded because they're dealing with contaminants, so PFAS. So a lot of it's going more towards water treatment than anything else. And then the other thing that kind of hurt us is that this was like the first year of enhanced WIA, where people have prior projects that were underfunded, that were able to get additional funding without putting in an application. Like Naples got an extra, they got $11 million, so I'm like, if you can understand, and there was a lot of enhanced WIAs, so. That just robbed from the pool for new projects, so. I think the best thing the town can do is just reapply, stay on the list, and just, keep being there with your hand out. Cause eventually I think they'll take care of everyone that's on the list.
Eventually, they'll take care of everyone that's on the list.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, could.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're a legacy person, there's intent to get those projects off those lists instead of having them reappear year after year. So, it might take us like 3 year window, but I think eventually we'll get funded. And the other part too is I don't know like when the pendulum will swing back towards just replacing aging infrastructure, because I mean, that's what the impetus of the grant was. And now it's shifted more towards looking at emerging contaminants, but I think that might be a temporary thing. So once those projects do get funded, I would expect it to swing it back the other way, but. We will try to do a postmortem. We'll try to do a postmortem call with these guys and try to see if there's anything we can do to enhance our. Maybe if we change our project scope a little bit somehow, that can make us a little bit more competitive in the following year. We'd like to have that conversation.
Uh,
I don't know
How
what
much,
we do.
I'm not really sure how much more you can change it, cause.
Like I said, it's mostly just to discuss them, and just, there's other things that we should be highlighting a bit more versus, I don't know, but it's always good to just talk to them, kind of see what they saw and try to understand it.
We'll just get a feeling for what,
Right,
They're looking for.
right,
okay. On that cheerful note,
yeah, sorry.
Just end on something.
Yeah, thanks for that.
well, now we're going to have a
Executive session.
short executive session. Those of
Jim,
you
did you
that
say
aren't in the town board,
street lights on 332 were gonna go in November?
Yeah, actually, next week, they start taking them down on the 11th, removing them, I guess, that's that Susan information.
If there's a
Put out,
temp.
so it could be dark, and then after that, darker, and after that, it was a color.
And that's when.
That sidewalk looks.
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah,